Welcome to the Engage Consulting's AI HR interview series. I recently had an opportunity to interview some of the most prominent HR leaders in Pakistan and talk about how they, in their organizations, have digitalized HR processes and how they're currently using, but specifically how they're planning to use AI within their organizations. Listen to how our guests have transformed their organization and achieved workplace excellence. Today's interview is with Tazeen Shahid, Chief People Officer at Jazz.
Welcome, Tazeen, and thank you for accepting this invitation. I know that Jazz is transforming itself from telecom company to tech company. Fantastic initiative. Probably more than an initiative. Tell us a bit more about it and how far have you come?
Thank you for having me, Paul. And yes, Jazz is pivoting from a conventional legacy telecom company to a more tech-driven and a digital company. This is our vision. And the reason why we're doing it is because we believe that tech is the future, and one really needs to reinvent itself, even businesses as well as people. And this is where we are at Jazz, that we are absolutely reinventing ourselves. We have a couple of new businesses. Garage, which is our own cloud, is one of them. We also have OTT, which is Tamasha. A lot of people are regularly viewing cricket on it. I think that we will also be hosting the World Cup on it. So that is a success story for Jazz. So why we are pivoting is that if you do not, as I said earlier, reinvent yourself, you really go out of business. And for us, it is really existential that we try to evolve with time and leverage technology to the best that we possibly can, and obviously grow the business with it. So far we are still starting, a long way to go, but we're committed and following through.
Awesome. And I'm sure that has implications for HR as well. So I presume that that's primarily a digitalization journey. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you guys have done in digitalizing HR?
Okay, so I will start with the digitization of HR, which is something which is not really linked to being a tech company, because I feel that every organization needs to leverage technology, whether it's a tech company or a manufacturing company, doesn't matter. So for us, the digitalization journey started way back, I think in 2016 and 2017. So we have an app-enabled HR system which is developed in-house, and so that is the digitalization. So our employee experience is totally digitalized.
Okay.
But to the second question, that how our change strategy is impacting HR. So it is a whole new game altogether. We are looking for a different kind of talent. We have a whole different culture that we need in the organization. The compensation of tech talent and the other talent needs to be differentiated. So all those challenges are HR challenges, which comes with having a tech-driven organization. As far as employee experience is concerned, our onboarding is seamless, offboarding is seamless. Most of our processes are absolutely paperless. We really don't have any employee. Yeah, so we really don't have any employee files. We all have electronic files. I don't have a single printer on the HR floor. So this is where we are on our digitalization journey. So you will see no paper in HR. In fact, no paper in Jazz. Maybe one printer we have in the legal department, because they really need it. Other than that, there are hardly any printers, and really no paper anywhere.
That's amazing. I think a lot of companies could learn from it. What was the biggest challenge in making that transition to that amount of digitalization?
I feel that any change, the biggest challenge is the mindset, and the change management process, taking people along with it. If people are threatened by any change, because they feel that it's going to take over the jobs. A lot of discussion has been done on how AI is going to eliminate jobs. It's a different topic, but I feel that it's just going to create a different set of jobs, and change has always been there. It's just that the the pace is much faster now. So that's why we're feeling it more, but change has been since time itself. And I feel the biggest challenge for us was also the mindset, but once you're used to working in a certain way, then it becomes part of your DNA and the part of how you work. So for us, it hasn't been a very difficult journey. And one of the key reasons probably is that our employee force is probably on a bit younger. They're more, accepting to change. So it hasn't been a very difficult, and we're continuously evolving. So it hasn't been an overnight journey. It has been going on through so many years. For example, right now, for our HR system, we are taking away all the interface. We have integrated AI in the system. It's not a chatbot, but we will just have one interface, and you can call it a chatbot. We call it Employee Assist. Whatever you need to get done on few key things like leave and etc. You just go and tell the bot, and the bot does it for you. So you really don't need to navigate through the system, etc. So this is the kind of things that we've been doing here.
So completely voice enabled then.
Voice enabled and text enabled. So this is in the training phase. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So then, having that foundation of completely digital HR processes, where does AI come into place? How have you integrated AI in your HR process?
Yeah. So one example, So one example I just gave you, the Employee Assist, and another one I'll give you for our procurement process, not the organization procurement, but for the admin process. So for admin, our ordering is all determined by AI. What needs to be ordered? Yeah. So and this is also we've integrated in the system. What needs to be ordered? What is the quantity? So it's all done by AI. The workload management for admin staff is also done by AI. So AI, we have AI component in most of our HR system processes.
That's fantastic. So is AI also being used in all kinds of other HR use cases? So for example, I work with a company in which we have integrated generative AI in performance reviews in order to get better quality of performance reviews done. Or we have another tool that recently been developed is around helping line managers to identify individual development plans on the basis of generative AI. Have you used other use cases in order to deploy AI?
In recruitment, we have. I think we also used your company for that.
But quite a few years now, I think.
Yeah, quite a few years, right? So, but for performance is one area we haven't, but we will definitely be looking at it because I feel that AI gives you so much power. It's your superpower, because what you could do in maybe it would take you days, you can get it done in a matter of minutes. So we'll definitely look into the performance evaluation bit to put in generative AI.
And are you encouraging employees to actually use the ChatGPTs of this world in their daily work, or is that something that are some rules and guidance around it?
No. So we have the protection around it, but employees are free to use it.
Okay, that's awesome. And in terms of apart from performance management, anywhere else where you think there's opportunities for using either analytical AI or generative AI in order to drive and improve performance?
Of course. So learning is another area. Now AI can actually help you make an e-learning module in a matter of minutes. It can, so learning is another area where AI is, I think, is absolutely, and analytics is absolutely, you can put in data sets and the generative AI will, analyze it for you. So this is another area we are developing or looking into. The bot that I talked about, for example, one of the things that we are trying to do here is that, and it's for internal HR use only, and the reward team, that if you put a data set of maybe last 10 years employee increments, the chatbot should be able to do some kind of analysis, whatever we ask it, and give it to us. So something like that. Yeah. So these are the use cases or very practical uses of AI in our daily lives.
Yeah, I've a couple of years ago, I worked together with a data scientist from Singapore, and he had developed an algorithm that if you put a tremendous, and it was significantly more than reward data. It was service data, gender, all kinds of demographics, who to report to, how often promoted, etc., etc. So about 18 or 19 different data points per employee. But at some stage, he was able, with an 80% certainty, he was able to predict who's going to resign next. And that I think is where the power will come in, correct? And what the interesting thing was, what he mentioned was it was not so much about the salary or the increases that he got, but specifically also about kind of relationships he or she had with bosses and to what kind of boss they were reporting to. So all that information was being seeped into the algorithm, and that allowed then for those kind of predictions to make. Similarly, I think there's a huge opportunity in terms of predicting talent pipelines, isn't it?
Yes. So analytics is another piece that is a very, I feel it's the backbone of HR and all, in fact, business. And predictive analytics is another thing which AI can work with, as you just mentioned, and that piece will tie in with the talent development. Earlier, we had to interview people, develop the career path, etc. And it was a cumbersome and a whole long drawn process. Now AI can help you with that in that process as well. So make the career development plan for the employee or based on the skill sets or the capabilities, not just the next logical job progression or the job elevation. So AI can match skill sets and make the development plan for you.
So similarly, the 360 tool that we are using for companies, or that we're deploying for companies, now has got an AI element in it in terms of individual development plans, and the engagement survey tool that we have, including Best Place to Work, will in the next edition will actually have an AI element into it in terms of giving you suggestions on what you can do to improve the engagement levels of the employees, and that will all be AI driven.
Fantastic.
It moves from capturing data and getting from capturing data to insights, and then immediately move then to suggest solutions on how you can drive those insights. And I think that's where the power comes in, correct?
Absolutely.
So what are the big the few big trends? We talked about one or two in terms of AI and HR. What other trends do you see, and how will that shape the role of HR professionals in the country?
So as I said, Paul, that AI is going to create a different set of jobs, and as HR, we should be on top of it. And tech capability or people being comfortable with technology is just not going to be optional anymore. Everyone needs to have some comfort level with technology, or if nothing else, how to use the technology. So I feel that HR people will have a very critical role in shaping the future of the organizations. And the biggest trend I see is that, and no matter how, and people think that AI is not going to reach Pakistan anytime soon, or that people are relatively a cheaper proposition than digitalization and automation. But I feel that the kind of enhancement in the productivity you get by integrating these, this technology in your processes and your organization will give you, amplified results. So I feel the biggest trend is that it's going to be everywhere, and HR needs to be not on board, but on top of it.
So what are you doing with your own HR team to allow them to be on top of AI? Sorry.
So we have a number of learning initiatives that are open or available to people for upscaling or rescaling themselves. One of the things that we've just launched is we have a data certification program. So it starts from the basics, then it progresses to SQL, Python learning, and it's open to anyone, whoever wants to take it, and it's a blended learning program. It's online as well as in the class. So similarly, we continue to have these dialogue in the organization. Sometimes we call people from AWS to talk about technology. Last month we had Aisha Khanna in one of our the peer-to-peer learning programs. So we invite experts. We have learning interventions available, and we continuously focus and drive it. So everybody feels that they really need to learn and be on board with it. So it's a whole buzz.
And do you see that the HR team themselves are also embracing and enthusiastically taking part in those?
Absolutely, yes. Nobody. In fact, they come to me with their new finding or how we can use technology in any of the interventions that they have. So yes, my team is fantastic that way. And again, as I said, that most of them are digital natives, so that helps.
Yeah. I've now noticed that a lot of people now come to me and says, we don't know how to use PowerPoint anymore. We're using Canva. And I go, all right, let's use Canva. Yeah. Correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. As a country, most of the time we're very dependent on importing technology from outside. Do you think that's right? And what can we do as an HR community to actually create native built tools that actually fit the language as well as, of course, the culture?
Paul, I feel very passionately about this, that we really need to promote the local talent and the local products. Not just for the reason that the big names out there that we end up buying, they are very cumbersome to implement in with our local practices. They are not very customizable. And obviously, you end up paying in the foreign exchange. So here at Jazz, as I mentioned earlier as well, that we have an in-house built HR system. In my entire career, and I've gone through 2 HR system deployment, I've always used local solutions because I feel that they're more easy to adopt, and you can build your workflow around it. So I feel that if we really do not give our local talent a chance, why don't we export the HR systems outside? Yeah. Why do we need to bring those and import and implement them here? Why can't we export our digital solutions?
Well, that's music to my ears, because that's something that I've really embraced to see how me and my team, or my team and I, sorry, how my team and I can develop Pakistani AI tools that fit our use cases. And I mentioned already 2 or 3 of them. And it is specifically interesting to hear what kind of use cases different companies have, and then build a tool around it. And then it's easy, like you said, it's easy to implement. And there's so much benefits, not just around economic, but specifically around giving the local team the opportunity to learn and to showcase that they're actually as good as any of the international tools. I promise you that.
Absolutely. And your talent games is one such example. I mean, you've taken that outside of the country, so that I feel that's good for the country, good for the organizations.
Yeah, this is proud to see that the FIFAs of this world are using these tools with great success, that's some export currency comes in, but I think the pride of being part of that is even significantly outweighs any export currency that comes in. Correct. Any other advice that if I was an HR professional, I'm listening. I've been using ChatGPT. I know what it is. I enjoy using it. It's really important. On the other hand, I have noticed personally that with a number of young people that have just come into HR, that by them using ChatGPT to such an extent that sometimes thinking by themselves is not happening. Any worry or any kind of concern or advice that you would have for newcomers into HR to actually use it responsibly?
Okay, so I'll break my answer in 2. The first is that a lot of HR folks find it difficult to get the budget for implementing any technology in HR, unfortunately, which I feel is very, very unfortunate. But again, one needs to build the business case, and there is a strong, solid business case for all technology enablement. Second, it as a human race, it might stop us from thinking for ourselves, and mostly our people are just using Chat GPT to write emails and correct the text and all. I feel that there's a lot more that you can do with it, and yeah, a lot more. So just don't use it for that. And as far as not thinking for yourself is concerned, there are prompts for Chat GPT, Paul, which can give you actually better results if you give what the bot what you're thinking and how to amplify your own thoughts, so it can present your own thoughts in a better way. So there are lots of ways that you can actually use it, but do please try to have automation and tech enablement in HR. HR should not be the last area in any organization where this is implemented.
Yeah, and I think there's, like you said, there's so many huge benefits. I think the easiest way to build a business case is to help line managers to do their HR task easier.
Yeah.
Whether that's to do with that performance review tool, that instead of having to spend 3 hours on a performance review, you actually answer a number of questions, and as a result, you have an output that will be significantly better. On recruitment, where you have a tool that prompts you in terms of the kind of questions to ask, and a tool that helps you assess the answers from the candidate. That's where if you can, because if line managers start using AI-enabled HR tools, wow, that's a word. Then I think you get significant amount of efficiencies. Correct?
Yeah, and that's the whole idea, to improve your productivity. That's the whole idea, so that you have a lot of free time to do things which are more impactful than maybe filling out a performance review form.
So the future is all bright?
Absolutely. Totally.
And tech-enabled. Well, thank you, Tazeen, for this conversation. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Paul, for having me. And we'll connect later then. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you really liked our AI HR interview series. If you've enjoyed it, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But even more important, if you have a specific use case to use AI in your HR processes, let us know, and together we can explore how we can use AI in your company.